Chapter 31, Final Gate Location, Abyssal Depths, Underworld Environment, Shifting Shadows, Crushing Pressure, Distorted Spacetime. Current year since Daiko's arrival, 7 years, Daiko 13, Karo 14, Zarek 17, Power Levels, Daiko, 11,500, Karo, 11,000, Zarek, 10,900. The massive obsidian door loomed before them, etched with ancient Scion runes that glowed faintly in the darkness. This was the final gate, a portal said to lead beyond the underworld itself, to freedom. If one could pass its trials. But this was no simple passage. The system's voice vibrated through their minds, host and companions. The final gate opens only to those who prove mastery over body, mind, and spirit. Beyond lies the abyssal depths, uncharted regions of the underworld, filled with trials that test not just power, but essence. Daiko's breath caught. The underworld was already a prison, but to escape, they had to descend deeper into a realm darker than anything they'd known. Step 1, the descent. The obsidian door cracked open, revealing a spiraling tunnel that stretched infinitely downward. Jagged spikes of black stone jutted from the walls, pulsating with dark energy. The air was heavy, thick with an oppressive chill. The trio stepped inside. As they moved, the tunnel shifted, walls closing and opening unpredictably, disorienting their senses. The system warned, spatial distortions active. Maintain key synchronization to stabilize perception. Daiko reached out with his key, weaving a glowing thread of energy around their group. Karo's sharp mind synchronized instantly, while Zarek's chaotic energy stabilized into a steady pulse. Together, their key formed a beacon that anchored their minds, allowing them to navigate the twisting abyss. Step 2, the Guardians of Shadow. Halfway through the descent, the tunnel erupted into a cavernous chamber. Shadows coalesced into grotesque forms, massive, twisted beings forged from dark ki. Their eyes glowed with malevolence. Zarek snarled, his dual ki flaring as he charged forward. Karo moved swiftly, eyes calculating every opening. Daiko's mind sharpened. His battle instincts flared as he surveyed the monster's movements. The battle was brutal. The shadows attacked relentlessly, shifting forms that morphed to counter each attack. Their corrupt ki twisted the air, trying to sap the warrior's energy. Skill progression, Battle 1. Daiko unleashed his yin-yang dragon wave, its swirling energy clashing against the dark forces. His ki control improved, and by the fight's end, his charge energy skill advanced by 4% and ki sense by 5%. Karo, relying on precision and speed, landed critical strikes that revealed weaknesses in the shadows. His flight and basic ki blast skills grew by 3% each. Zarek's chaotic dual ki surged, breaking through enemy ranks. His auto ki recovery skill increased by 4% and martial comprehension by 3%. The last shadow dissipated into nothingness, but the chamber trembled. Step 3, the abyssal trial. Deeper still they went, reaching a massive hollow filled with swirling black mists that whispered doubts and fears. The system alerted, psychic and emotional assault imminent. Focus required to resist mental corruption. Daiko felt the mists clawing at his resolve, tempting him to surrender. Memories of loss and pain flashed, his past life as Enzo, the loss of everything he once knew. Karo steadied Daiko with a firm grip, grounding him. Zarek summoned his chaotic energy into a shield, dispersing the mental fog around them. They forced themselves forward, their spirit tested as fiercely as their bodies. Step 4, the final guardian. At the tunnel's end, the gatekeeper awaited. A colossal figure radiating overwhelming ki, a distorted echo of a Scion warrior from the past, clad in ancient armor cracked with energy scars. The guardian's voice rumbled, "Only those who surpass the limits of the underworld may pass." The battle erupted. Daiko, Karo, and Zarek fought as one, weaving their strengths seamlessly. Daiko's limit breaker activated, pushing his power beyond normal constraints. Karo's time-shot instinct allowed him to anticipate and counter strikes. Zarek shifted fluidly between Majin Chaos and Scion Ranas, overwhelming their foe. Skill progression, Final Battle. By the end of this monumental fight, the trio skill surged. Daiko, plus 8% to yin-yang dragon wave, plus 5% to limitless potential, plus 4% to charge energy. Karo, plus 7% to flight, plus 5% to ki sense, plus 3% to basic ki blast. Zarek, plus 8% to martial comprehension, plus 5% to auto ki recovery, plus 4% to split core access step 5. The gate opens with the Guardian's defeat, the final gate pulsed, its surface rippling like liquid energy. A portal to the surface world and freedom. But the system's voice cautioned, beyond lies a realm unknown. The trials have only begun. Daiko glanced at his comrades, their eyes fierce and ready. Together, they stepped through the shimmering portal. Chapter 32, Beyond the Abyss. The shimmering portal spat Daiko, Karo, and Zarek out onto a strange new terrain. An endless twilight realm of jagged peaks and swirling mist. It was no longer the oppressive underworld, but the light was dim, and the air hummed with raw energy. Before them lay the next challenge, a vast arena formed from ancient ruins, suspended between worlds. It was a training ground left behind by the gods of old, meant to temper the mightiest warriors who sought to ascend beyond their limits. The martial code. As they stepped forward, Daiko felt a surge within him. A latent power calling out, an echo of a forgotten martial technique. System update, new technique unlocked, Ki Surge, inspired by Kaioken, temporarily multiplies Ki output by x2 to x5, strain increases exponentially with multiplier, boosts strength, speed, and reflexes. Overuse risks severe physical backlash, muscle fatigue, Ki exhaustion, duration limited to 30 seconds per activation. Daiko clenched his fists. This was no mere boost, it was a gamble with his own body. But if it could amplify his power enough to break his limits, it was worth the risk. Trial by combat. The ruins around them shimmered as spectral warriors materialized, echoes of legendary fighters, challenging the trio to prove their worth. Daiko took the lead, eyes sharp, Ki flaring. He activated Ki Surge, feeling his heart pound as energy surged through every fiber. His power level jumped from 11,900 to 23,800, nearly doubling. The boost granted him incredible speed and strength. He moved faster than ever, his punches cracking the air like thunderclaps. Yet, the strain was immediate, his muscles burned with every motion. Karo followed suit, his own ki flaring with newfound intensity. He pushed his power from 11,400 to 21,600, relying on speed and precise strikes to dismantle his opponents. The young half-scion's control was impressive, mitigating some of the physical backlash by carefully regulating his ki output. Zarek's chaotic ki surged differently. He favored bursts at moderate levels, multiplying his base power of 10,900 to 16,350 intermittently, using clever maneuvers and energy manipulation to outweed foes rather than brute force. Battle progression. The fight dragged on, waves of spectral warriors attacking relentlessly. Daiko's charge energy skill improved by 5%, Ki Sense by 4%, and Ki Surge Mastery gained 3% in precision. Karo's Flight and Basic Ki Blast both rose by 4%, with a notable 5% gain in Ki Surge control, enabling him to minimize strain. Zarek's Martial Comprehension increased by 5%, Auto Ki Recovery by 3%, and his strategic use of Ki Surge earned an 4% boost in Ki Sense. Aftermath. As the last spectral warrior dissolved, Daiko staggered, muscles trembling but spirit unbroken. He deactivated Ki Surge, and his power level settled back to 11,900. But he knew the technique was a weapon to wield carefully. Power without control is self-destruction, Zarek said, panting beside him. But with discipline, this could be a game-changer. Karo smiled, rubbing his sore arms. It's tough, but it feels like we just took a huge step forward. Daiko nodded. We'll have to train hard to push this power safely. Current power levels: Daiko, 11,900 Karo, 11,400 Zarek, 10,900 skill progressions, Daiko. Charge energy plus 5%, Ki Sense plus 4%, Ki Surge plus 3% Karo, Flight plus 4%, Basic Ki Blast plus 4%, Ki Surge Control plus 5% Zarek, Martial Comprehension plus 5%, Auto Ki Recovery plus 3%, Ki Sense plus 4%. The ancient ruins awaited their next move, and with their new power unlocked, the trio prepared to face whatever trials lay ahead. Chapter 33, The Crucible of Flames. The trio stood at the edge of the ruins, their bodies still humming with the residual energy from the Ki Surge trial. The path ahead narrowed into a cavernous tunnel, glowing faintly with an orange-red light, the unmistakable heat of an ancient, fiery domain. This must be the next trial, Daiko said, tightening his fists. The Crucible of Flames. Caro wiped sweat from his brow. Great, fire. Just what I wanted. Zarek chuckled darkly, the ever-present shadow of his half-Magian heritage flickering in his eyes. Fire refines, breaks, and rebuilds. Let's see what we're truly made of. Into the inferno, the heat hit them like a physical force as they entered the cavern. Walls dripped molten rock, and the air shimmered with rising heat waves. The floor cracked underfoot, revealing rivers of lava flowing just beneath the surface. Their key alarms blared. The environment itself was hostile, draining stamina with every step. The system warned, environment hazard, extreme heat effect, stamina recovery reduced by 50% recommended. Use auto stamina recovery with caution. Daiko activated his auto stamina recovery carefully, mindful of the strain. His power level remained steady at 11,900, but the oppressive environment tested his endurance. Suddenly, the cavern exploded with fury. From the molten depths emerged a massive creature, an ancient fire guardian, its body composed of swirling magma and burning rock. Its eyes blazed with a malevolent intelligence. Trial of fire! The fire guardian roared, shaking the cavern as it charged. Daiko stepped forward first, engaging with a barrage of rapid punches powered by his key surge technique at a moderate multiplier of x3, boosting his power level temporarily to 17,850. The clash was brutal. The Guardian's magma fists shattered stone with each blow, and Daiko's body screamed under the intense strain, but his training kept him balanced. Caro supported from the rear, weaving through molten rocks to land precise basic key blasts, each one chipping away at the Guardian's core. His control of key surge had improved, letting him conserve energy and keep his power near 15,000 during the skirmish. Zarek utilized his martial comprehension to analyze the Guardian's attack patterns, dodging and countering with unpredictable energy slashes, his power spiking in short bursts to 14,000. Turning the tide, the battle pushed them to their limits. Daiko felt the searing heat burn through his auto-key recovery, slowing regeneration. His charge energy skill improved with every strike, increasing by 5% by the fight's end. Caro's endurance was tested as well, but his flight and key sense advanced by 4%, allowing him to evade the Guardian's most devastating attacks. Zarek's auto-key recovery and martial comprehension saw a 6% increase, the fire forging sharper instincts. In a final coordinated effort, Daiko combined his yin-yang dragon wave with Caro's mouth energy wave, creating a spiraling vortex of white, black and violet energy that overwhelmed the fire guardian. The beast let out a final, echoing roar before dissolving into sparks and ash. After the flames, the cavern grew calm. The oppressive heat faded, replaced by a cool breeze. The system chimed, mission complete, the Crucible of Flames rewards. Power level plus 500, skill increases applied. New skill unlocked for Daiko, Flame Resilience, passive, reduces damage and stamina drain from fire-based attacks. Daiko wiped sweat from his brow, panting but triumphant. We made it. Caro grinned, flexing his fingers. Feels like we just got a lot stronger. Zarek nodded thoughtfully. This is just the beginning. The real trials are yet to come. Skill updates after battle. Daiko, charge energy plus 5%, total, 22%. Key surge plus 4%, total, 35%. Auto key recovery plus 3%, total, 21%. New skill, Flame Resilience, passive Caro, flight plus 4%, total, 29%. Key sense plus 4%, total, 38%. Basic key blast plus 4%, total, 28%. Key surge control plus 5%, total, 32%. Zarek, martial comprehension plus 6%, total, 42%. Auto key recovery plus 6%, total, 27%. Key sense plus 4%, total, 31%. The path deeper into the underworld opened before them, the air thick with anticipation and mystery. Together, the trio prepared to face the next challenge. A crucible not just of fire, but of spirit and destiny. Chapter 34 Key Flames of Ascendance. The echoes of the Fire Guardian's defeat still lingered in the cavern's molten walls as the trio pressed onward. The atmosphere shifted, the oppressive heat giving way to a more tempered warmth that seemed to pulse with latent energy, a prelude to the next challenge awaiting them deeper within the underworld's fiery domain. Emerging from the crucible, Daiko's body still tingled with the aftereffects of the intense battle. His muscles burned slightly, a reminder of how much he had pushed past his limits. The new passive skill, Flame Resilience, throbbed faintly in his system, a subtle but steady shield against the relentless heat that once threatened to sap his strength. Beside him, Karo's youthful determination shone brighter than ever. His control over ki had improved markedly, and his movements flowed with newfound grace and precision. The last year of training, intensified by the trial's harsh realities, had forged him into a warrior closer to Daiko's level, a rare feat given their age difference. Zarek, ever the silent sentinel, seemed almost at peace in the flames, his half-Magian blood resonating with the fiery environment. The battle had refined his instincts, and his power ebbed and flowed with a terrifying calmness, hinting at depths yet unplumbed. The trial intensifies as they ventured further. The walls of the cavern narrowed into twisting passageways lined with glowing crystals that shimmered like embers. Each step echoed ominously, and the heat now bore a new weight, an almost palpable pressure that pressed down on their ki and stamina. Suddenly, the system's voice broke the silence, warning. Extreme environmental conditions detected. Effect: ki regeneration efficiency reduced by 30%. Recommended: utilize all passive recovery skills and conserve energy. Daiko tightened his grip on the rock beneath him, centering his ki. This trial isn't just about power, he muttered. It's endurance, control, and strategy. The Phoenix Guardians, before they could react, the cavern's floor shattered with a deafening roar. From the fissures erupted 4 colossal Phoenix Guardians. Beings forged of flame and ancient magic, their feathers burning like the sun itself. Each guardian radiated an intense heat, their eyes glowing like molten gold. They spread their wings, creating gusts that whipped the cavern into a frenzy of fire and ash. Daiko stepped forward, voice steady. We fight together. Battle in the blazing depths, the fight erupted with explosive ferocity. The Phoenix Guardians moved with breathtaking speed, each strike sending cascades of flame and shockwaves rippling through the air. Daiko engaged one head-on, pushing his ki surge to AX4 multiplier, his power level soaring temporarily to 19,600. His strikes were precise, imbued with the tactical finesse learned over countless battles. But the Guardian's fiery wings created barriers of flame that forced him to constantly adapt. Karo and Zarek flanked the other Guardians, their teamwork seamless. Karo's improved flight allowed him to dart through fiery gusts, delivering swift energy blasts that forced his opponent into defensive postures. Zarek, ever methodical, exploited openings with calculated strikes, his martial comprehension rapidly adapting to the Guardians' patterns. The turning point as the battle dragged on, the intense heat began to weigh heavily on all three. Their stamina drained faster than usual, their bodies aching from the continuous strain. Daiko's vision narrowed as he summoned every ounce of willpower, unleashing his yin-yang dragon wave in a controlled burst, targeting the Guardians' cores. The blast scorched through flames, momentarily stunning 2 of the beasts. Karo seized the moment, his mouth energy wave cutting through the fiery onslaught, forcing a retreat. Zarek's energy flared with a dark, crimson hue as he channeled a devastating ki slash, severing the wing of one phoenix and tipping the scales. Victory and growth with the Guardians weakened, the trio pressed the attack, culminating in a combined barrage that sent the last of the Phoenix Guardians collapsing into molten ash. The cavern fell silent once more. Exhausted but victorious, Daiko, Karo, and Zarek felt the weight of their accomplishments settle over them. The system chimed softly. Trial complete, Flames of Ascendance power level increase, plus 1,200 skill improvements applied. Skill updates after battle, Daiko, ki surge plus 5%, total, 40%. Charge energy plus 4%, total, 26%. Auto ki recovery plus 3%, total, 24%. Flame resilience plus 3%, total, 3%. Karo, flight plus 5%, total, 34%. Ki sense plus 4%, total, 42%. Mouth energy wave plus 6%, total, 21%. Auto stamina recovery plus 4%, total, 19%. Zarek, martial comprehension plus 6%, total, 48%. Ki sense plus 5%, total, 36%. Auto ki recovery plus 4%, total,
31%.
Reflections before the next step. As they rested, the air cooling and energy returning to their limbs, Daiko looked toward the tunnel's mouth, where a new pathway glowed faintly, the gateway to deeper trials. This fire, Daiko said quietly, wasn't just a challenge. It was a forge.
We've been remade. Karo nodded, eyes gleaming. Stronger, faster, ready. Zarek's calm voice broke the silence.
And soon, the true test of our lineage and will. With renewed determination, the trio moved forward deeper into the underworld, where shadows danced with flame and destiny awaited.